Your piano teacher, Tim here, and of course, I have something special for you today. I have a list of piano classics, pieces that are really well known and fun to play that are good for intermediate students. I already did a lesson on this for beginner students, and I'll include a link for you in the description, but let's get right on into the lesson. Okay, the first piece I want to tell you about is the Rondo alla Turca by Mozart. Okay, Rondo alla Turca. Some reasons that this is probably pretty good for an intermediate student is that, first of all, it's in the key of A minor, so you don't have a lot of sharps or flats to worry about. However, you do have quite a few, basically, some accidentals basically in the middle of the piece there. It's actually really fun to play, I find. The fingering is a little tricky, so you're really going to have to spend your time working on that, especially with the right hand. Luckily, the patterns kind of remain consistent. So once you kind of get down the right hand and left hand pattern, it's very similar throughout the piece. Another great thing about it is that it's fairly short at about a page, 2 pages, I think. Alright, it's not very long at about 4 pages, which is pretty manageable. I always like to obviously start from the first section outlined on the first page and then play to the end of that just to kind of get the feel for the piece. Alright, let's get on to the next piece here. The next piece is for Elise. Now, you may have heard me mention this as a good one for beginners, and that's because this first page is really good for beginners. A lot of students in the first few months of playing are able to tackle this first page. However, a lot of people reminded me in the comments of that video, it gets quite a bit harder as it progresses, and then it kind of goes back to that first section again. So we're going to put this in the intermediate category for the whole for Elise, not just the opening section. Also want to quickly mention that this one's a good one because there's no real key signature to worry about. You do have a couple accidentals here or there, but overall not bad. Like I said, the middle section's a little bit tricky once you get around there, but after that, it's smooth sailing, I would say. Next piece is by your boy Mozart. It's Serenade in G, Ein klein Nachtmusik, which is a little night music. So let me kind of talk you through it while we listen to it in the background. Okay, this one's a good one for intermediate students. First of all, the key signature is pretty easy. You just got one sharp there, that F sharp to worry about. There are quite a few hand position changes in here. That's why I don't recommend it necessarily for beginners. You do have fairly simple rhythms all around. However, you do have some, I wouldn't call it syncopated rhythms, but you just kind of have an offbeat there with bum, 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 bum. And then, you just have that first part with the octaves, and then you just have, the chords in your left hand with the melody in your right hand. Pretty simple stuff. I'm going to play the first 3 lines of it or so. The next piece is Ave Maria by Franz Schubert. Now this one is going to be a little tricky for you to find. I'll try to include a link for you in the description. But because it's not actually originally a piano piece, or just a piano piece, so you have to find kind of a condensed version. But this one is very good for intermediate players. Pretty easy key signature with 2 flats there, B and E flat. You do have this sextuplet kind of rhythm. However, it is repeated consistently throughout the whole thing, so it is pretty easy to count, actually. It has very nice harmonies to it, the chords that are being played, and then it has a very nice melody while you have this kind of bass pattern in your left hand. next piece is the Cada and Fugue in D minor by your boy, Johann Sebastian Bach. This one everybody knows. And the reason that it's so good for intermediate students is that you have a simple key signature, simple time signature. You do have some complicated kind of rhythms here in the beginning. However, they throw you a bone because this is a piece like people know so well that you're probably going to be able to figure out the rhythm just by like listening to a recording of it. Although they do change it slightly, I noticed, even in this version compared to what I'm playing. So this one has a really, really cool sound to it, and as you can see, like the second and third lines here do have quite a bit going on fingering wise, but it's the same pattern over and over and over again, so that makes it a little bit more manageable. Now the toccata here, did I say prelude and fugue in D minor? I meant toccata and fugue in D minor, if I didn't say that. But the toccata really isn't that hard. It's actually going to be the fugue that is really going to be the challenging part. So if you want to skip the fugue, you can do that, but you at least want to learn, the toccata. All right, we'll go with that. This is also written quite a bit differently than what I'm used to, but whatever. I did make a lesson right here for students who are more on the beginner side looking to play their first classic pieces. So it's been your piano teacher Tim here. Thanks so much for coming by today. It's been a great one, and I'll see you in the next lesson.